I've got a fun land investment here out here in Yakima, Washington. My name is McLaughlin here with Wilco Land. What we do is we specialize in raw vacant land. In this video, I'm going to cover, satellite imagery of this property. I'm going to go over a lot of common questions and really break down what we're selling in this video. Again, this has really cool views. It's a fun property overlooking the Yakima Valley here in Yakima, Washington. You can see here on this photo, our photographer did a really great job at capturing this ridgeline. This is where the property is located up here on the top of this ridgeline. It's going to offer a lot of privacy. It's going to offer some really cool views up here and a fun spot to bug out or maybe build someday. It's got some awesome long range views. Look at that. So, there's going to be, the target audience is probably looking for somebody looking for a cheap land investment. It's somebody looking for a cheap land investment. Maybe you're going to park a camper up here on the weekends, use it for recreation. Maybe you want to build on it someday. By no means, am I saying you can't do that, but at our asking price, we're going to get a wide range of people looking for just a pure land investment to somebody who wants to build up on top of this ridgeline and have their home up here, right? And then somewhere in between where people want to use this for recreation, camping, day use, an RV, things like that. So like I said, these views are really spectacular up on top of the ridgeline. I think that's a really big selling point to this property. And then I'll talk about access here at the end of this video. But while I'm clicking through some of these photos, I want to start by saying, this isn't legal advice. It's not real estate advice. I'm simply sharing my thoughts and opinions with you here today from my 10 plus years experience in the industry and my own due diligence. So yeah, here's a ground level photo right from the property. Here's another one. You can see that road's a pretty good dirt road out there. And then I want to show it to you. I want to pause on the road. This is what the road looks like to the property. And I want to talk about access here in a minute. So I'm going to teach you how you can go view the property on your own. We do offer more of a self-service model here at Wilco Land, so keep that in mind. I will teach you how to view this property here towards the end of the video. In our listing, you can read through it just like this. It's set up on a ridge line. It's 10 acres out here in Yakima County, Washington. If you're interested in learning more about the zoning out here, you can view the zoning information here with the planning and zoning division out here in Yakima County. There is no HOA. It's a small tax bill a year. So like I said, we're going to get people looking for a pure land investment, somebody looking for maybe a recreational property or even a place to build someday. And I want to talk about, some of these photos I've drawn out here on a map. I wanted to capture, and this might give you a better look, but I wanted to capture some of the usable space out here on top of the ridgeline for folks. So first and foremost, it looks like in the past, maybe something was down here on this section of the ridgeline. And I just want to basically draw out, you can see a lot of the property is really steep and unusable, but these are pretty decently sized building pockets down here on the property. So take a peek at the size of this. So if we did that, the measurement right there, that's a 1/4 acre of land. This would be a good spot to park an RV, do a tiny home, or even build a house on a 1/4 acre right there, okay? So that's a good pocket right there. Over here on the other side of the ridge, don't fall off the ledge, but, you still have some space, especially to use for recreation. Let's fix that. Let's do that again. You still have a good amount of space to use for recreation right here, I believe. Here's another, that's 1/10 of an acre approximately right there on the other side of that ridgeline road. Let's do one more. I think this is, would also be a really sizable location on the property. Up here, maybe the best spot and the largest usable area on the property. What I'm using right now is a GIS map. This is overlaying what, the county maps, GIS maps. These aren't perfect. It's overlaying plat maps and county maps on top of Google Earth, but it's very similar to the county GIS system that you might see used in the public records. And this is 1/3 of an acre on the property too. So there is a lot of really good usable space on this property. If I were going to measure out the other side, that looks fairly usable over here too. This is kind of a long skinny piece, but oops, messing that up. But you can see what I'm talking about though, right? Like you can see that there's a lot of usable space on this property, another 1/4 acre of land right there. That would be, really usable, right? When we look at this property like that up here on the top ridgeline, there's a lot of usable space. We can even look at the width of the property right here. This is going to be 91 feet. This is 3 first downs on a football field. That's a lot of space, to recreate, to build. There's plenty of space, I believe, to build on this property. You as a buyer are going to ultimately have to go through your own due diligence and make sure this is the right fit for you. But you can see somebody's using their property right here. That's a pretty cool setup, whatever that is, right there on the ridgeline. And they're on a really small section of land too, right? Like that's really no bigger than the stuff we just measured, a 1/4 acre. So yeah, I mean, is it usable? Yes. I mean, there's somebody who has a mobile home right here, maybe an RV up there, right? Like I said, the target audience is more than likely, gonna be doing stuff like this. They're homesteading up on this ridge line. Maybe they've got campers up there, mobile homes. They're using it for recreation. But you can see there's people up here on this ridge line, accessing these properties. Maybe even they have power nearby. Maybe you're using solar. I don't know how close power is to this property. I'm guessing you're going to pull it from right over here. We can measure that out and see how far down that road is. But you could call the local PUD, Power and Utility District. That's about 650 yards. That's definitely feasible if you want to run power to the property. It could be closer, could be right here, or it could be right here with one of these neighboring properties. I don't have all those answers. You'll have to drive out there and try to learn some of this yourself by driving out there. I want to talk about access before I end this video and just get to the point with access. So I've got the property pulled up here on Onyx Maps here in a second, but here's a bird's eye view of where we're at. We're in Yakima, Washington. Great part of the country. It's access to the Cascade Range right there. Like I said, you've got some really great long range views from this property. But what I wanted to really show you, what I'm trying to get to is Onyx Maps to give you directions to the property. So here's our property right here. So our photographer tried to access it from down here. This is not your access route. This is a private home. So where you need to do is you need to go up on 82, up to the north and get off right here on this exit and get on East Sala Road. Okay, and you're going to come up there and you're going to come off to the right here off Sala Road, right at this location across from Dreamland's property. And you're going to come off right here and you're going to follow this road and it's going to come back around and down and come around here and you're going to follow the ridge line. You can see there's other properties up here on the ridge line, okay? And that's going to bring you back up and down right here to the property. So make sure you're using an app like Onyx Maps. This is one of my favorite apps to use for land viewings. But you're going to come access the property from the north. You can also get there coming through this way. It looks like, you're trying to get down to Bud's Place is what the street's called. And it looks like, that's a way you could get in there too. This to me looked like the best access route. You could go a little bit further, I suppose, and make it all the way down. What you're trying to do is get down to this Bud's Place road down here where there's some other homes in development that we can see here on satellite imagery. So like I said, a really fun land investment out here in Yakima, Washington. We price our land to sell it. We're in the market of moving land, not holding it. So if you are interested in a land investment like this, get with our team. We're happy to help you out. If you're a cash buyer, we do offer some discounts to cash buyers as well. So again, get with us if you have any questions. My name is McLaughlin here at Wilco Land. You can reach us at 605-299-5553. Thanks for tuning in.